Hey, so I was writing affirmations for two subliminals, one to clear and like protect your chakras and stuff, clear balance and all of that, and the other one just to have one that raises estrogen levels and lowers testosterone while maintaining proper progesterone levels. So those two should be coming up probably by tomorrow. But Myra asked a really interesting question about how to do the deflection thingy of meditation or energy. So when you feel like you're being messed with energetically, what you do. And I gave her a response. It's in that video called You're Not Crazy. So you can read that reply to her. But I'm going to give you the spoken version of this and the full version of how to do this. But it's a little difficult to explain it to you if you don't know what it is I'm talking about. So there's not going to be visuals for you to see here unless it becomes necessary later on in the video. So just put your feet down on the floor, feet flat obviously. Take your socks off if you have them on, and don't have any part of your body touching the other part. So your knees shouldn't be touching, your hands shouldn't be touching anything. Just, the couch is fine, the chair, whatever you're on is fine. Just sit up straight, hold your back as straight as you can, arms at your sides, and push your diaphragm in. Your diaphragm is between your belly button and above your pubic bone. So that area where you call your happy trail, you push in from there and draw your air and oxygen in through that way. Fold your arms out as if you're stretching your arms like this. So your elbows pop, and then try to pop all of your joints. Be aware of how that feels to really push to pop your elbow joints, your shoulder joints, stretch it all out. Stand if you have to. And actually, if you're standing, try to pop your back. I don't know if you know how to do this. You put your hands behind your back and you kind of pull your arm up towards your neck. Lily, don't start right now. I'm busy. So, you should feel wiggly, do your stretchy thing and sit down and breathe again. Now, take your hands together in a prayer position and rub them together vigorously. As you can't do this wrong, so just rub them together. And you're going to do this for at least 40 seconds. So just keep rubbing your hands and visualize around you a simple hula hoop on the floor, but the hula hoop is made out of golden light. And we're going to call this circle the circle of light. Plain and simple. Now, with the circle of light, you want to add a bigger boom hula hoop while you're still rubbing your hands. A bigger hula hoop around it, but this hula hoop is purple. Whatever shade of purple, it doesn't matter. You can even make it pinkish purple, as long as it's in the violet spectrum. This is called your circle of transmutation. So whatever negative energy would come in towards you is immediately transmuted to a highest vibration of love, and before it gets to you, it's then brought into your spectrum of light to be a blessing to you. Now, from there, you can put a bigger circle of boomerang outside of the purple, if you'd like, and visualize that as a mirror ball boomerang. It's completely fractured, all sorts of beautiful breaks on it, your complete perfect design. Or just make it a solid sheer mirror. And that's your circle of reflection or deflection. whatever your intent may be, to simply send the energy back completely. So that way, if negative energy comes at you, it is bounced off of this circle of deflection, which is fed by the circle of transmutation and then the circle of light. So if somebody's talking shit about you and you have this thing going on about you, around you, they'll get their shit talk back at them, but with a loving undertone of you. It's all positive, benevolent, blessed, and, you know, kind. It's of the highest vibration, and it dissipates all negative energy to it, which is done through the transmutation. So anything negative, anything harmful is immediately transmuted to the divine light aspect of it, which is completely joyful, enlightening, calm, and serene. It's that easy. You can stop rubbing your hands together, by the way, and hold them together about an inch apart. And if you kept doing it this entire time, it's fine. If you didn't, it's totally fine. Just pick up again and rub them together for another 10 seconds. Your hands should be really hot right now, and like pink and red kind of. Now pull them apart slowly, as if you have Play-Doh around your hands. And really keep the circles around you in the back of your mind, and feel this Play-Doh, like really push your hands, almost as if you're tensing them and pushing them apart at the same time. And just now, once they're like cell phone width apart, just hold them there. And take a really deep breath and say thank you to yourself for taking the time to teach yourself something like this. Now you should be feeling something very tingly in between your hands, almost like your nerves are reaching out to the other finger to touch the other hand. You can visualize and imagine that the tingling is actually beams of light coming out of your hand, like sparkly diamond dust, which is probably what they look like in the quantum realm or something anyway. Or you can visualize fire, you can visualize light or a rainbow, whatever. It's just so your mind associates this. Now, pull them apart more, and if you're starting to lose the tingling, just rub your hands together again, and then hold them apart. It doesn't have to be super tingly. As long as you're even aware that there's air in between your hands, it's fine. Now, in this area, this supposed empty space that you have, visualize like this, whatever you're seeing already, but make it brighter, more saturated in color, and attempt to make it something you would give your grandmother, your best friend. This simple, peaceful, calm, loving, like wholesome, nourishing, gentle, wise kind of cuddly feeling. Like you just nuzzle into your pillow and a blanket, and you're just warm and toasty, and your like little tiny hairs just, you know, stand up, and you feel like you want to get squished. Maintain that feeling, like really let yourself feel it while you have this tingly feeling in your hand. And remember, you still have those 3 circles going, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. Now, take all of that feeling and hold it over your head. Like lift your arms up as high as you can get them, and then pretend you're throwing a basketball. You don't have to, you can move your hands if you want, just throw it up. And it's like you're offering it up to the universe for the universe to do whatever it's going to do with it for the highest good of anybody or everybody. Did you feel that release from your hands, as if you really threw something, like you felt it, whether it was just muscular or an energetic thing, right? So by now you're pretty aware of this warmth and tingle and static, kind of like a warm, fuzzy excitement. And it's around you and inside you, and it's kind of like you're buzzing or vibrating or breathing weird. Something's just more alert. There's another light bulb on the switchboard kind of thing, right? Okay. Now, whether you're standing or sitting is irrelevant, just as long as your body parts aren't touching. I want you to close your eyes, take a deep breath through your diaphragm, and hold your hands as close to your face as you can without actually touching your face. And when you feel the tingles, they should be in the palm of your hand or at your fingertips somewhere, but they could be anywhere. I mean, you're an energy being. It depends on where you're feeling it. I want you to imagine your hands getting really bright white, as if there are spotlights coming out of your hand. Now I want you to take your hands with those spotlights and bring them to your heart and put both your hands however you want on your heart area. And now imagine that spotlight that was coming out of your hands still coming out of them, so it's kind of bouncing off your chest. And now imagine a spotlight on top of you all the way down to the floor. What would it feel like to have that spotlight, that heat, that warmth, that brightness, that almost like overpowering, overbearing whiteness of it? You ever seen somebody standing on stage and they're showing it on TV or in a film, how they're looking onto the stage and there's this blinding white light? And then they close their eyes for a second and they feel that sensation of the white light like going through them. And then they breathe out and then they start feeling something. I want you to emulate that. I want you to stand there or sit there and feel like you're standing in a spotlight from every direction. They all turn on and you're in the spotlight. Congratulations, you're the star. And on top of you, anywhere on top of you, like 12 inches above you, 12 feet above you, on your forehead, behind you, wherever you want, you are covered in stars. Bright white, as if you have like sparkles all over you, and the white light is reflecting off those sparkles like you're wearing sequin. Be aware while you're imagining all of this of how your body is supporting this, as if your body now suddenly knows what it's designed to be doing. Because in some level, whether you have this playing in the background or you're actually following along with this, you're aware that some part of you actually knows you can do this, right? I mean, I did when I first started with this. It was simple for me, and I haven't learned this anywhere. I'm completely going by what I normally do every day by myself. I'm just teaching you that. So I know it's something real because it's everywhere. Everyone has these methods and they're all unique to each person. You can't get this wrong, and you're aware of this with your body. So now turn that flashlight, that spotlight back on. And do you still feel warm? Do you feel like you're still cuddly, or is it kind of fading now? Should be kind of faded, right? I mean, it's been a while since we were talking about it. You haven't been doing the hand rubby thing and just kind of standing or sitting there, which is okay, because now this is what it feels like to let energy subside. You're letting it flow. And then now You know, the best way for me to describe this is I want you to feel like while you're under the spotlight that there's a really heavy blanket on you. What would it feel like to have a massive blanket on top of you right now? While all this spotlight is going on and you're probably overheating or getting bored or something. Now, what would it feel like if you threw this blanket off of you from every direction all at once? It would feel like you were tensed under something physically and all your joints and muscles were tensing as if you were pushing against the floor to gather strength to push this thing off of you, right? So like if you're standing, you can pretend you're pushing up against the wall, but you're not actually pushing. Or you're tensing your muscles really hard to push into the floor, but you're not really doing it. You can't get this wrong. So as long as your body, whether physically or preferably do this physically first so you get the feeling of it, and then pretend. That feeling of releasing that basketball energy before and this pushing off of you, this like releasing the burden of what you're carrying, that's what we're after. That's what you need to practice. Because when you feel the stuff messing with you, or when you feel afraid, or when you feel like you're having an anxiety attack or a panic attack, it's because there's energy attempting to come into you and your body is warning you like a spidey sense to remember that it's all love and it's all energy and you're being asked to do your job, which is energy work. All animals and all plants in nature have a function. The human's function is energy in creation. You are the caretaker of this planet. This planet revolves around energy, from the sun especially and the moon. And that's what you're designed for. The sun, you're designed by the sun and the moon, the masculine and the feminine. And the earth itself being the middle part, which is where you are and who you're supposed to be taking care of. So now we're going to just bring it right back to the palm of your hand. Take whatever is nearest to you. You can even take a pillow or your sock or a cat toy or whatever, nothing breakable. And hold it in the palm of your hand. And to be aware of specific areas on your body that you want to cleanse or move energy away from. This thing you have in your hand, even if it's your mouse, there's a certain feeling that you feel on the palm of your hand to where you know that if you tilt your hand one way or another a little too much, it would fall out of your hand. Now I want you to tilt your hand almost to the point where this thing would fall out of your hand. And notice there's like a split second where something in the palm of your hand wiggles or triggers or tickles or something weird to where it's almost like you're magnetically or energetically holding on to this object. Like it should have fallen, right? But it hasn't. And then some part of you makes you think, oh, because you have to tilt it more. But what if it's actually what that thing you felt? That sticky, energetic feeling that felt like you're holding on to something that should be on the floor already. That feeling, if you can emulate it around your entire body and then kind of shake it off, is what it feels like to like rid yourself of energetic goo around you. It's really easy to do in the shower. If you hold water in the palm of your hand And then while the water is touching your body from like head to toe, just like tense yourself completely and then shake yourself off like a dog from head to toe, as if a wave of shaking is going through you. It feels weird. Like I'm just doing it now and I can feel my spine, the area between my shoulders really tickle. I thought I had gotten most of it out, but I guess I've been typing all this stuff for too long and my shoulders got tense. Jeez. Okay, I think that's enough. The easiest way to do this, remember, circle of light, circle of transmutation, and circle of deflection. Circle of light is gold, circle of transmutation is purple, circle of deflection is a mirror. And then the spotlight from head to toe, and then you got the hand rubbing and the basketball bounce, and then the sticky fingers. I should start a school. We'll call it Celeste School for dorks and nerds. All right, you nerds. I hope this helps. Like, I don't know. I don't know if the things I do really help. You guys tell me, but sometimes I wonder, like, does my absurdity really help you? Anyway, I love you. Take care of yourself. And just FYI, don't be afraid, please. The human being is designed to thrive with the use of imagination. The way energy is moved by your body isn't by some physical extension of you or by some, ABC method. Your tool is your imagination and your capacity to feel, your ability to feel something and then to give it an image and then take that image and bring it into life. To take an image and bring it into your feeling and then from that feeling create something with it. It's a system of think, feel, do. Or imagine, feel, do actually. And if you can remember to utilize your brain for what it's designed for, which is imagination and processing. It is a relay system, it is a transmitter, it is a remote control, it's a computer processor, it's your, hard drive or whatever you want to call it. And your hands, your body is the mouse clicker and the keyboard, the musical instrument, the speakers, the motherboard, the heart, the heart itself, the power, like the power outlet plug. And your imagination is the electricity. It's the creation, the material that all of this is made from. And when we're like raised here in this game, in this whatever the F it is, we're taught to shut off these abilities and this natural innate ability. It's ridiculed. So that due to the humans' need to be in a community, to be in a collective, shame is used to isolate those humans, and the best way to shame a child is to shame it for what it's doing naturally. Just like Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, suddenly being ashamed of their bodies and genitals, and they're like, oh, we, blah, blah, blah. Like, who cares? Do you got any figs behind those figs leaves? Because I don't really care if, my junk's floating around in the garden. There's too much to eat and to have fun with. So they shame the kids so that the kids stop imagining, and then by the time they're adults, they shame each other. Because it's cool to shame each other so we can be in a collective together. And then we lose out on the main ability of what creates our life, and then we're told to live the life that's created for us, so that we can feel certain terrible emotions and certain positive ones and be in this ridiculous, rat maze, which is basically the Truman Show, but you're living the Truman Show. And that's it. So your imagination is the law of attraction. Like, it's your relay system to the laws of the universe. Without your imagination, the universe is basically only like you're there to it, but you're not really creating anything, so you're just a battery source for it. To whereas if you're imagining and creating and feeling and loving and transmuting and moving through life, you are an active creator. You're a responsible, sovereign, divine being, and you create your way forward in harmony with the universe. You are a symbiotic unit. But when you're a consumer instead of a creator, you become a cancerous cell to the universe. You become a virus, something that takes instead of gives, something that changes the universe instead of creates with the universe. So if you want to get your life in order and get away from these people doing these crazy things to you and be immune to all of this psychic attack completely, do what you're here to do. As first and foremost, breathe, drink water, eat healthy fruits and vegetables and berries and stuff, and take care of your planet. And by doing that, you are immediately brought to the awareness of your imagination, of your body, of your health, of the energy, of all of it. Because if it was just you and the planet and a collective of humans without modern society, just like animals in the wild, you would know exactly what your purpose is. An ape knows what it's doing, a lion knows what it's doing, a hyena knows what it's doing, a horse knows what it's doing, a eagle knows what it's doing. All the elements know what they're doing. Everything does what it's supposed to do, and then it does other things in a collective. The humans have been quarantined from this because they haven't been using their imagination except to attack each other with thoughts and insults and behaviors that they think aren't heard by other people. But they are. They're just not consciously heard because the human has learned to protect its consciousness by dumbing itself down so that it isn't aware to the pain going on around it. Then it becomes a mindless drone, which then is easily abused and drained by entities and beings who are terrible in nature because they have been around for a very long time and they don't see the point in being kind to the new kid on the block, just like freshmen and seniors. So to put things back in balance, God, Demi, really? Are we doing this already? Fine. To put these things into balance, to put the human species into balance, you as your own individual aspect of source consciousness must now and always utilize your imagination for the utmost benefit of the planet, your life, and the life of those around you. Doing so will immediately vibrate and emit a frequency through you that completely alters the morphogenetic field around you in a way that goes into a sequence of dominoes falling over, each one being a different human being or animal or plant or mineral, a stone outside or the clouds in the sky, especially when it rains, that you will create a ripple effect throughout all of life, not just this universe, but the multiverses and then the omniverse. Just because you started utilizing your imagination to benefit the person next to you, which immediately kickstarts, defragments, and kicks your entire minimum 12 chakra system, and that's the minimum, there are at least 33 that you should know of pretty soon. And all of them will go into a sequence of locking codes basically to activate and help you get back to what you're supposed to be doing. I'm gonna go because that was a lot of information going through me and I need a break.